What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 20 of the Rob Durant podcast. Fellas, episode 20, man. What's going on, guys?
Not much. Watching these NBA playoffs, just enjoying the games.
It feels like
Disappointed.
a it feels like a milestone.
It does, man. It's 20 in the books.
Yeah. Feels like a year or two have gone by or something. I don't know. Probably hasn't. Probably been like months, but in podding time.
Yeah, time flies when you're having fun.
Basically.
Yeah, but we got a good episode going. We got going for the fans today, for everyone watching. Thank you guys for tuning in. 20 episodes in. If you're still with us, thank you. If you're new to the show, welcome. Hopefully, you've enjoyed this ride. You will enjoy the ride to come. Fellas, personally, I want to thank you to obviously Lulu and Irvin as well, who are not here. But thank you guys for joining me on this journey because it's been dope, man.
Thank you for
Yeah,
having us.
thank you for having us and for setting this up. We've been talking about this for years now, and it feels good to actually be doing it,
Right.
just seeing where we end up, you know.
Yep.
And I'm sure the viewers are gonna see many different colors that they haven't seen yet. So I feel like the more comfortable we are doing this, we're just gonna you know, hopefully connect with more like-minded individuals.
Right.
So
Whether you love us or hate us, we appreciate ya.
that's true. That's true.
Absolutely, man. So, first topic of the day, NBA, man. We got to touch on that because this last round, this current round of the NBA playoffs, a little bit surprising for some, as both series went up 3-0. Obviously, the Celtics take it in a sweep against the Pacers. Mavs are playing tonight as we currently record. But did you guys expect to see something like this in this last round right before the NBA Finals?
Well, in the Boston and Indiana series, I'm not too surprised, especially after Tyrese Halliburton was out, I believe, in the middle of game two.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
so. Yeah, because
like
he
in the
missed the last two. Yeah.
yeah. So after he was gone, I was like, you know, it's uh it's pretty much over. But the rest of their players actually made it a dogfight the last two games. They only lost by 3 points, I think, in each of the games. So that was actually more surprising that Boston didn't just dog walk them in the last two games. This guy Ninhart, I think he's
Yeah.
gonna he might be a future star. He did not shy away from the moment. He accepted the role and he showed out. But shout out to Boston for closing that series. I know, like, that's the hardest game to win is game four, and they did a good job closing it out. They showed me a lot. I'm seeing Jaylen Brown driving to the left a lot more. Looks like he was all over Twitter the whole summer, and I guess he saw that people thought that he couldn't go left, but he's shutting a lot of people up right now because he's driving left more than right in the series. So, and he won the MVP, most valuable player of that series. Now in the Mavs and Timberwolves series, this is a surprise. I saw this series originally going maybe to game six. My heart was leaning towards the Mavs. I wanted the Mavs to win, so I'm not mad at it. But my brain was telling me that the Timberwolves had like some sort of advantage, like their size advantage and length. I felt like they were gonna be able to blitz Kyrie and Luca and like just throw a whole bunch of different bodies at these guys and maybe wear them out. That's what I thought was gonna happen, but no, the superstars have shown up for the Mavs and they haven't shown up for the Timberwolves. I feel like that's why they are in this predicament right now. But what do you guys think? Did y'all see this coming?
Nope. I did not. I didn't expect the Pacers to get swept. Because a lot of the games were pretty close, like as you mentioned. Even when Halliburton was out, those games were close, and I expect them to be like blowouts after he went down. And that first game was crazy when they went into overtime. Like the Pacers had them, and Jaylen Brown, did his thing to kind of win them the game. So that was like, I think that like tested them, and it proved, I guess, to the Celtics. It showed them like we can, no matter what they throw at us, like we can still come back and beat them. So I guess I gave them like a second wind of confidence to the Celtics, and kind of they just rolled it to victory, basically to sweep them. Surprisingly, I think the Knicks would have given them a harder time. I don't think the Knicks would have gotten swept, even if they were injured the way they were. Um, and then the Mavs and the Timberwolves, yeah, I didn't expect them to go up 3-0. But as you mentioned, the Wolves, like their star players haven't been offensively efficient. They've been missing a lot of shots, especially like 3-point shots. And the Mavs have been making those, and they have been just more offensively efficient. Just Kyrie and Luca. Kyrie to me has learned from his past, and he got to play with LeBron, and he got like all that experience from LeBron, and now it's like manifesting. When he was younger playing with Boston, he was trying to kind of be like a leader, but now like he's naturally grown into that leader mentality because of all his trials and tribulations with LeBron, with Boston, with the Nets, and now with the Mavs. Like to me, Luca reminds me of a LeBron, not as physically talented as LeBron, but like skillfully triple doubles. You know what I'm saying? Like the way they view the game to me is like watching LeBron and Kyrie play all over again. But now Kyrie knows, like, kind of like when LeBron and D Wade were together, like LeBron would carry most of the game, and in the last quarter D Wade would close type of situation. Except Kyrie's just way more efficient as a shooter. So that's like what I'm seeing now with the Mavs. And I'm proud of Kyrie because like this is what LeBron kind of wanted for you when you were with the Cavaliers, but you were on some my way or the highway type of shit. I don't know. He was like very rebellious, I guess, as a younger folk, and now that he's grown into it, it's like I can see that he's learned from his mistakes. Um, and it's just he's what's the word I'm looking for? He is basically getting the fruits of his labor with this team. And I want them to beat the Celtics. I want Kyrie to win a ring. I'm not a Mavs fan at all, but like I like this run they're on. It kind of reminds me of that first Golden State run. It was the first year they won. That they kind of came out of nowhere, and I'm like, yo, this team, like the way they play, I like it, and I want to see them win. That's kind of how I'm feeling with this Mavs team right now. But yeah, I hope they sweep. Sorry, Wolves. Like, yeah, you had a chance, but yeah, they didn't close the deal. So it is what it is.
Yeah, so Wolves are up 35-29 in the second quarter. Just for a quick update there. But yeah, the Boston series, I mean, we said it I think last episode, 2 episodes ago. Whatever team between the Knicks and Pacers faced the Celtics were destined to lose that series. I did not expect a sweep at all. I expected a minimum of 5 games, 6 tops with whoever faced the Celtics in that round. But I think to Hasiel's point, that game where it goes into overtime, Celtics do have this crazy like sequence to come back and then eventually win the game. Just kind of gave them that boost of, all right, we that championship mindset, which is what they need to have. I've been saying it from the get. This is the best Celtics team I think we've seen in this Jason Tatum era and Jaylen Brown era, and they got to close the deal. And what better way to walk into the NBA Finals than by sweeping your opponent? And you want to see that continue in the next round because this is the brightest of lights for Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown to really put things together. Adding Porzingis to the mix at some point is just going to boost that team up even more. So we'll see how they fare against what we assume is going to be the Mavericks, whether they close it out today or not. But on that side, I'm shocked because I expected at least a 6 or 7 game series with the way the Timberwolves have been playing throughout these entire playoffs. But maybe they just, I don't know, maybe they just weren't well prepared after that last series or something going on because they haven't been playing like themselves. Or maybe it's just the Mavericks are that much better, at least in this series. The chemistry between Kyrie and Luca is insanity. I said this to Cesar in the chat a couple days ago. Just their chemistry is crazy. The way that team is playing is out of it's something I don't know. It's coaching. I know the coaching, the culture, all that
Amazing
stuff put
kid.
together. Yeah, they found like the perfect mix of players. It kind of reminds me like the way the Knicks play. There's not a absolute superstar like Luca is on the Knicks. Jalen Brunson is arguably up there right now, but the way they play, regardless of who's on the court, is just you're going to get the exact same type of play, and that's what the Mavericks bring to the table, and why they're in the position they're in.
Yeah, and to add to that, Roberto, I feel like um the Timberwolves, at least in the press conferences, it seemed like they got worn out by them for a little bit. Like I think Jokic really did a number on these guys, especially in the first couple of games. I think the wear and tear was getting to them, and this is also brand new territory for this team. They haven't played this many games before, and it's a different kind of grind. So I'm wondering how their conditioning is doing. Maybe that might have been a factor. Uh, but shout out to Luca and Kyrie. And that's the beauty and the the advantage that you have to have a person like Kyrie in your team that has been there and done that and been to the promised land and know what's required mentally, physically, emotionally in order to make this thing like make this happen. But assuming that they do y'all think they close out tonight? Just real quick.
I want to say yes, but I feel like the T Wolves. I mean, it's still close. I think a game where your back's against the wall. I would have expected maybe a bigger lead out of Minnesota at this point. It's only a 6 point lead right now, but I want to say the Mavericks just find a way and close it out.
What about you, Hasiel? What do you think?
I want well, I want the Mavs to close it out. Will they? I think they will. The game's pretty close right now.
Oh,
Um,
you cheating, bro.
what?
I'm kidding, I'm kidding.
Um, yeah, so I lost my train of thought. I see if Ant can have like a crazy game, then maybe they have a chance to win one. But they're playing the Mavs at home, and I just don't see that Kyrie's like what 14-0 in closeout games or something like that. This is a closeout game technically. I think he'll if the game's close in the fourth quarter, he's gonna do what he needs to do to win that game. If it's not close, then the Mavs might just like rest their players at the end of the quarter type of situation and be like, all right, we'll win them, we'll beat them in the next game or something like that.
Yeah, just to
But
kind
like
of
probability is like 90% they win today.
Wow.
piggyback off of what Cesar was saying too, with Kyrie being on that team. I know it seems like Luca's this rugged aged veteran, but the dude is like 25, is he? Like
Something
he's
like
a
that.
he's a very young dude still
Hmm.
maturing into that like NBA body and physique and all this other stuff. So having Kyrie there, it's like that's your 1A, 1B. Like there's not a quote unquote number two, it's a 1A, 1B situation. So Kyrie is like that leader on the team that Luca needed. And you could see the difference that it's making this year.
Yeah, I think he even mentioned it in the press conference that he leans on Kyrie a lot for moments like this because his experience is something you can't be taught. It just could only be lived, basically. And another thing that the Timberwolves, I feel, a minor adjustment they need to make. They just got to be a little bit more physical, man, and drive the ball more, man. Like Karl Anthony Towns, he has a size advantage against anybody that he goes against, but he lives or dies with the three. I get it. He has an amazing jump shot. He's a little off right now. I feel like they need him to be on the post and get to the free throw line. Like, there's no reason why the Mavericks should be um, beating you guys 31-17 in free throws
Yep.
in a game when you're the bigger team. If you're gonna be the bigger team, then play like the bigger team. And I feel like they haven't done that this series. But we'll see what happens there. Getting back to Boston, do y'all think it hurts them that their journey to the finals has been so, I don't know, non-resistant?
That's a great way to put it. I was trying to think of what word you were going to go with. That's a good one. I was actually reading today too. Like it's been I was going to ask you guys too. So good thing you kind of triggered that. Has this been like the easiest finals run we've seen ever? Like I feel like having no resistance. I mean, maybe it'll be like, you're overconfident in a good way and it doesn't come back and bite them in the ass kind of thing. And come NBA finals, if there's a little bit of adversity, they respond well. But I like to see, at least for me, like I would like to see my team have to fight a little bit
Yes.
and show me like, you got that dog in you when the time comes. If it's crunch time, game 7, I know that you're gonna do your absolute best and not feel like a deer in headlights type situation. But that's just me.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I
I want to
agree.
see a team tested.
Yeah, some adversity. I think it does well.
Mm-hmm.
That's the word right there. I like my teams. I feel better about my team when they went through some sort of adversity to get to the finals, because that only brings the team together more and you can trust the guys more in those situations.
Yeah.
Now we don't know how Boston is going to react. Let's say if they go down 2-0, we don't know. So they might catch them slipping.
Yeah.
I'm telling y'all right now, if Derek Lively, hopefully he gets healthy. That's partially why I would lean towards Minnesota maybe winning tonight, out of respect for them. But if once the Mavs get past the Timberwolves, I think I'm leaning towards Dallas winning this thing.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go
The
out
whole
on
thing?
yes.
How many games? I'd say 6 or 7.
I would say 6.
Wow. I think if Porzingis is healthy, or as healthy as can be at this point, I will probably go Boston in 7 against the Mavericks.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be an easy 7 games for anybody.
Oh yeah, that's a great point, Roberto. Porzingis' health might alter my pick for sure.
I think he just makes such a difference. I think he spreads that floor, opens up the floor for everyone. Like that's why he's the unicorn. But we'll see. His health is a big what if.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see. But speaking about spreading the floor, my girl Caitlin Clark got her first victory the other day.
What a thing.
I've been seeing a few highlights here and there. I haven't been catching, all the games and stuff. But what I have been seeing is I've been seeing Kayla Clark everywhere. Like the exposure that the WNBA is getting, something that I guess maybe I haven't been paying attention to it in the past, but I mean it's like all in my face now. Like I'm seeing Angel Reese a lot. I'm seeing a lot of these girls that we were raving about in the previous show. Like, how do y'all feel about this new WNBA? Like, I'm actually trying to go to one of these games. New York Liberty, they got a great team.
They
Mm-hmm.
definitely do.
So I'm gonna definitely catch a game. Maybe when Indiana comes to town, I might go see that game.
Yeah.
Or
That would be
Chicago.
dope. Yeah, I think the exposure they're getting is amazing. And it's a great like the draft class had so many notable names because of how much more popular the college sports were during the series. I'm blanking during the tournament. So I think it's great that we got to see all those stars in college now translate to the WNBA and still continue that fan following, whether it's social media, whether it's people going to games. Like ticket prices are going up. A lot of these girls are getting endorsement deals, which is dope to see. Caitlin Clark, obviously she's the big name. So her popularity is carrying around the league. And it's just great to see, man. It's about damn time.
I agree. I just been seeing videos of them playing Caitlin Clark really tough, like getting clothesline, running into screens, getting dropped.
Yeah, a
It's
lot
just
of
like,
the veteran players are showing up to the rookies like, yo, don't forget
yeah,
who started this.
yeah.
We've been here.
Angel Reese too, like she's getting fouled hard. I'm just like, man, this is like it's entertaining. It's good. It's good for the sport. Obviously, you don't want nobody to get hurt. And yeah, I'm all for it. Like I've been watching highlights and some games here and there when I can. But like the season's so early for me. Like I like to let the teams kind of like play it out, figure it out after the first month or two. And then when like after I don't know, WNBA has All-Star games, but like usually after the All-Star game, when it gets closer to playoffs time is when I usually watch it more because the games mean more. So that's when I'll definitely be watching them more, and we'll try to go to a game too if they come, if they play in the playoffs and all that. Um,
We got to check that schedule. Maybe I'll make a trip down there,
yeah,
catch
Let's
a game.
go. Let's go. I'm
That'll be
hyped.
dope.
I'll be hyped for that. I'll be hyped for that. I feel like I don't know, man. I'm definitely very invested. I feel like as a kid, I kind of knew more WNBA players. Didn't you guys feel that way? Like
uh,
Well,
the
Lisa Leslie was the big name back then.
yeah,
Like
like they
everyone knew her.
like we had stars, like
Yeah.
like, and I feel like I guess the sport kind of like deviated away from that at some point, and now I think it's coming back.
Yeah, and I think it's the social media aspect helps. Like we get
Mm,
to see a lot of these players not just as like, for what public eyes like random women. Now we get
mm,
to see a little bit of their personal life. We get to see what they do behind the scenes and then see them on the court and it's like, "Oh, I know her."
mm.
And it's great for the sport, man. This is where social media was for the win, I think.
I googled real quick when the Fever play Liberty. Bro, they play next week or this Sunday, June 2nd, here in New
Oh
York.
wow.
Yeah,
Oh
and
wow,
then they play again in July, but over there in Indiana, I think, and those are the only two games they play each other this year. So I'm trying to see how much those tickets are.
yeah, I'm kind of torn that I didn't get to see Candace Parker play.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
It would have been dope to see her, but I'm glad she got her chip.
Yeah. She was a beast. I think was she the first and only rookie to win MVP in the WNBA?
That's a great question.
I think that's a stat or something like that. I know I used to watch her in college
Yeah.
before she got to the WNBA because she was like all the rave, and I'm surprised like that's how old we are or I am that she's already retired. But like I remember like maybe when I was like in high school, she was like becoming a thing, and now she's already retired.
Yeah,
Anyways, I don't want to go down the rabbit hole, but yeah.
it really puts things into perspective.
Yep.
Speaking of perspective, we got some big news for Major League Baseball.
Oh shit.
where the Negro League statistics are going to be made official under MLB statistics. So basically, a lot of the Negro League players who played, on multiple teams before the whole integration with MLB and black players, now those stats will count as regular stats. Excuse me, as regular stats in Major League Baseball. So Josh Gibson, who I think we've mentioned in previous episodes, is the new batting average leader in Major League Baseball history. And we're going to see a lot more stats come in as they continue to calculate. But just quickly, what are your thoughts on something so big and historic happening in Major League Baseball today?
Nah, I think it's pretty cool. I I'm a little shocked at the news. I didn't think this was something that was even in the discussion. But I'm all for it. Uh I think that these players deserve their flowers, and I'm glad that they're being measured in the same likes as the MLB. And this is just gonna make me go on a rabbit hole and see these players as highlights and stuff, and really get it to know who they are. But I think it's cool. I think it's good for the sport. Kudos to the MLB for getting something right. Now I don't know how the boomers are gonna feel about this. It might be a mixed reaction, but we shall see. I think this is a step in the right direction. I think it's awesome. I don't know if in other sports, like I don't know if in the ABA they count the stats there in the NBA. So maybe this might be a new trend that might start. So hopefully that's something that'll happen as well. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Um, what's another stat that like you mentioned Josh Gibbs, the all-time batting average. What's another one that might catch people's like, might throw people off? Like,
I was just trying to think of that. Like, I wonder pitching records, how those are going to look. I haven't seen anything on that yet, but I
okay.
wonder how those pitching records, if they're going to change at all as far as like ERA, maybe. I don't know if strikeouts,
Strikeouts. Yeah.
but something like that, like the ERA leaders, like maybe a couple people get bounced out of the top 10 or something like that. So it'll be interesting to see stuff like that.
Complete games, no pitch,
Yeah.
things like that. Saves.
Satchel Paige came on my feed right away.
Satchel Paige was an absolute monster.
Yeah.
Didn't he
Dude.
pitch like mad long or something?
Yeah. And what people don't realize too, and they don't really think about, is a lot of the players in the Negro Leagues came over to MLB and dominated after dominating in the Negro League. So the level of competition in the Negro Leagues is not like minor league baseball. It's right on par with, or maybe even better than what Major
Yeah,
League Baseball was fielding at the time.
basically.
So like these are players who weren't allowed to play in a league that they were probably better than 90% of the players to begin with.
Racism, yo.
It is, yes. Racism, segregation, all this discrimination, everything. It's unfortunate that it took until 2024 to have these gentlemen's stats count in the record books of Major League Baseball when they've been playing baseball at such a high level, on par again with the actual league.
Yeah.
Before they were even able to get in. So that's why a lot of these players, you look at their MLB stats and they may not seem as impressive, but they probably started playing in the MLB in their late 30s or something like that, as opposed to, the 15 years they had already played in the Negro
Yeah.
Leagues.
That's wild. Almost 100 years later. They're like, all right, let's join them up. And then like he was playing, so he played in the Negro League and then he played in the MLB. And that was like in the 40s. This all happened like in the 40s or whatever.
That's crazy.
Now, like 80 years later, they're like, okay, now we're gonna, yeah.
Yeah, and a lot of these guys aren't alive to like be able to be properly celebrated for being in the history books and in the
Yeah.
record books. Like being the all-time leader in batting average is crazy.
Yeah.
Like,
and for context, viewers, if you haven't looked it up, 372 was his career batting average.
It's unheard of.
Literally.
That's wow for a
he's
career.
also now Josh Gibson, the MLB single season leader in batting average at 466.
It's like every other every other at
Bro,
bat he was getting a hit almost.
466
Wow.
for a season.
How about the home runs? Did that change?
I'm sure it will. That's why I'm waiting, because I know they're still calculating all the stats just to see like what they have.
Oh, so they're not done yet.
No, they're gonna. I believe they start tomorrow, which is May
Oh,
29th.
this is
Is where
exciting.
they'll start integrating. So we're gonna see a lot of these stats probably over the course of the season. See these record books updated as we go.
I wonder what motivated them to do this.
I think it's been in the works for a couple years. We kind of saw it happening once they started bringing the Negro Leagues into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Started celebrating it more. I think it really took off too during like COVID in that era, where a lot of the movements, not civil rights, but a lot of the movements were going on.
Yeah.
The baseball, I believe, is called the Players Alliance. CC Sabathia is part of that, so it really kind of started there, I think, and it really kind of took off. So I'm glad we're at where we're at. And shout out to my guy Jeff Fennell, who I know he's done a lot of work with them, and him and I have had these conversations when we were doing our Sports 360 podcast and stuff like that. So I'm sure he's very excited to see this news go through as well.
Well, the one thing that's kind of unfortunate to me about all of this is the ratio of, I guess, Black or African American players in the major leagues right now. It's probably like at the lowest it's ever been. And now that they're getting recognition, and there's hardly any of them playing anymore.
Yeah, we
Maybe,
hope.
yeah, that this will like motivate them to get back into it.
Yeah, that's the hope.
We'll see. It's a lot of money there, fellas. Go for it. Fully guaranteed, low injury risk.
Bigger probability.
Yeah. Can I just like randomly throw one at you? I saw Acuna tore his ACL.
Yeah.
That's heartbreaking.
When I saw it, I was like, yo, that's it. When it's a non-contact injury, it's like absolute worst.
Yeah. Just wanted to get your thoughts on that, because I know that was like one of our picks.
Yeah, it's crazy. I hate seeing that. That's the second time he's torn his ACL.
Damn.
But last time it happened, I believe the Braves won the World Series, so we'll see.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, hopefully he returns back as good as he returned last time, because he's the reigning NL MVP. So he's shown he could bounce back from injury before. Hopefully he's able to come back better than ever. Speedy recovery for Ronald Acuna, one of my favorite players in the league.
Absolutely. And speaking of, since we're on the topic of baseball, Angel Hernandez, umpire, Major League Baseball, well known. I think if I say Angel Hernandez to every baseball fan, their reaction is going to be, oh, come on. Because that's our reaction every time Angel Hernandez is umpiring a game. He officially retired this month. It was announced, I believe, yesterday, officially, he's stepping away from the game of baseball. Not to, like what Cesar said offline, make this the roast of Angel Hernandez, but I'll say one nice thing after I'm done with this little rant. We'll call this Rob's rant. But Angel Hernandez, man, the crazy, egregious, nonsense calls this man has made. In me watching it, every time he's an umpire against or when the Yankees are playing, I already know something's gonna happen that's gonna get me pissed off, and I'm gonna start walking away from the TV. It never fails. And I think it's funny too that he was the umpire at the Yankees Astros games that we went to, and he had a missed call there. I believe it was like a slide into second base or something like that. So not surprising. Good riddance. I'm glad you're done. But a nice thing I will say is he is a minority umpire. He's Cuban American. So it was nice to see a Hispanic umpire in the league for as long as he was in the league, as terrible as he was. But happy retirement, Angel Hernandez.
Probably betting on them games or something.
Imagine there comes out like a documentary 10 years later.
I wouldn't be surprised. He should get hung at that point by his feet or something.
Oh, wow.
By his
Okay.
feet, by his feet. More
For
gentle.
For those of you watching, he's joking. He doesn't mean it.
Yeah.
Where
am I? Oh man,
Nah,
yeah. Go ahead.
he gave us one of the best highlight videos of all time. I'll say that.
He did.
You know, it was pretty fun stuff. Yeah, man, Angel Hernandez. It's a. I'm not gonna lie though, it's a spectacle when he's in the building. You know that he's there. The whole crowd is into it. As soon as his name gets announced, everybody's like a unit. Like everybody unites. He unites. Angel Hernandez, he unites. That's what he does. So enjoy your retirement, Angel. Hope you're good. Hope you're doing good, and hope you're being good. Hope you're not pissing off anybody.
Right. You won't be missed. I wonder how he made it that far with all the egregious calls that everybody knows he was making. Like, dude, like the proof is in the pudding. And they just kept like renewing him and bringing him back. And it's like, honestly.
He also, just a quick note, he did sue, I believe it was MLB, because he alleged that they were being discriminatory against him because he's Hispanic. And that's kind of why they were trying to like push him out. So, I'm sure there's more than just I retire. I'm sure there's a lot behind the scenes that maybe we'll find out someday, maybe we won't. But I mean, is he the worst umpire ever? Maybe. But there are some pretty bad umpires out there still that need to go. He's definitely the most notable and the most known.
Need the AI bots umpires ASAP.
I wouldn't mind that system because they have like even when the strikes and balls are called and they're off, the hitter does a quick and they go and check it in the bag. That's it. And it's literally 5 seconds.
You do that now? Oh, wow.
Not in Major League Baseball. They do it in other leagues. I believe it's maybe the Atlantic League or something like that.
I mean, that's like, what's the point of having all this technology? We're not going to use it. It's call the game right. And it only takes a few seconds. So, yeah. I think I lost a lot of my passion for baseball because of a lot of that BS. It's just like, how can you enjoy playing something when you're just getting cheated? Like, you really either gonna have to hit this ball or not, because like the game is out of your control at that point. Someone's gonna call strikes on you when it's clearly a ball. So you're just gonna have to swing at everything, Vladimir Guerrero style.
Yeah, no strike zone.
I know. We need more. We need more batters like that. The game would be so much more entertaining.
Yeah, he's 1-up-1 though. I don't think we'll ever get somebody like him again.
But yeah,
that was a beat.
Screw you, Angel Hernandez. I'm glad that they didn't have him like do playoff games or World Series games a lot.
I'm sure that was by design, bro. You can't have that.
Yeah. For sure. They knew something is there. Something is there. Now that I'm talking about it and like putting the pieces together, something is definitely there that we'll find out 30 for 30 in like 30 years or something.
Well, there you go. We turned the speculation podcast.
It's always Haciel, bro.
Oh man. It's true. We'll see.
Mm.
I know Lulu's not here, but Eminem is dropping hints, and there's more coming supposedly. So I'm sure we'll get an announcement about that album pretty soon, which is probably when Lulu's gonna take over the podcast episode. So anybody watching, be ready for that.
Yeah, I believe this Friday, May 31st, he should. That's where he hinted
Yeah,
something's up that day. So we'll see. I speculated the whole album. We'll see what he ends up doing. But I'm excited for it. I miss him. And what better year to do it than 2024, the year that we've had.
Oh
yep.
my goodness. Oh man, I wonder if he's gonna write some lyrical miracle on Diddler. On the
Ooh,
Diddler.
I now you know what? He might.
Yo.
There's a chance.
I think so, man. Wow. Speaking of that, you know, um, there was a pretty egregious video that was surfaced online the other day. I think most of us watched it and felt disturbed by the video. But what is your initial thoughts on, you know, the whole Diddy and him physically attacking Cassie after it seems like she was just trying to escape from his presence in the hotel room?
Yeah. Full disclaimer for anybody watching, just so that we're clear, we are going to touch on the domestic violence with Diddy. So if you're uncomfortable speaking or listening about this, feel free to fast forward, skip, whatever you got to do. We understand.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. I'll give it a couple seconds. But yeah, I think after seeing the video, or even just reading about it, I mean, obviously the video is a more impactful thing because you're physically seeing someone get harmed in that way. But I think, I think first of all, it's disgusting. Diddy's a piece of shit, straight up. Like, there's no excuse. There's no reason to ever put your hands on anyone, especially a woman, in the way that he did with Cassie there. But I think it also serves a lesson to people because this was not something brand new. Cassie had spoken about this previously, and it was kind of brushed off. And there's been allegations about Diddy doing stuff like this, and it's because he was Diddy, because he's Diddy, it's kind of like, oh, whatever. But I hope for the best for Cassie because this is something that's, obviously she's not with Diddy anymore. She's with someone who seems to be very supportive and very, good to her. But this is something that she has to live with forever. It's scarred her for life. And because of the public figure that Diddy is, it's gonna be out there forever. And it's gonna be a daily reminder to her of what she went through. And it's unfortunate that she didn't have the support backing her when she spoke up and was brave enough to speak up, considering who Diddy is in the public eye among the elites and all that stuff. So yeah, those are my thoughts.
Yeah. I'm not surprised. There's always been stories and rumors and videos. There's videos of Diddy just being a complete asshole and dickhead to people in general, to assistants, to signees or employees. He's always been like mal-mannered. and being young, when I was younger, I didn't know if that was like part of the act, part of the show, or if that really was him. But the more I grown and seen just more stuff, it's just like, no, that's just him. He's just a piece of shit. Like most people have said. Here we go with the speculations, but he's probably done a lot worse things to people around him. And then just people that you might have think would have praised him, like Mace and stuff that might have owned them their life or their situation now, pretty much would tell you like, nah, man, like I got the fuck away from him because he's fucking crazy and greedy and all these other things. And definitely, kudos to Casey for being a survivor. And yeah, that video. So people would like to say like, "Whoa, if this person is so abusive, why don't you just leave him?" Right? Well, in this situation, this person was literally trying to leave the person, and motherfucker chased her down the hall and tried to drag her ass and all this other stuff. Um, which at that time, people become fearful for their life, and then they don't know, like they're in shock. They don't know how to respond. You pretty much have to, from that moment on, like sleep with an eye open and plot your escape, pretty much, which can take years. Um, yeah, it's pretty disturbing. And it was worse is after the fact he comes out with like an apology, like a bullshit apology. And it's like,
Yeah,
Yes.
a freaking PR stunt.
yeah, and it's
I
Like,
like,
didn't.
dude, we got
I
your
didn't even
number,
watch.
bro.
I couldn't even watch the video. I didn't even click on it.
me either.
I had
Yeah.
no.
For what? What could
I
you
had.
be? What
I
could you
had no.
say here?
And
Talk about not reading the room, man.
right. And it just puts everything into perspective, everything to like all those stories, all those rumors are like brought onto the table. Like it's pretty much like Diddy did it. Like you did all that shit pretty much. Unfortunately, we are not gonna see video proof of all these things because we know that you'll just pay people off and hide it or burn the video, so there probably won't be much proof. Or maybe there is. Maybe that's what the raid was about. So maybe now the feds got it, um, and are probably gonna control him and whoever else that they might have to. It's just it's a lot. I don't like he's not gonna go to jail for this. Because like this set that was the word. Just
Statute of limitations.
yes, that um doesn't exist for those charges, I guess, or those crimes. I mean, only like for homicides, and I forgot what else. It's like there is no statute of limitation. So, like, what does this do really? Like, it just the public eye gets to see him for who he is. And then from there is like, okay, he can still just move forward in his life. But most people are probably not gonna fuck with him now. But at this point, he could just retire into the sunset. And I don't know. It sucks. I'm sure this happens all throughout the industry. Um, and because they have money and power, a lot of those things don't ever come to light. Um, and yeah, I don't know. I don't really have much thoughts. Then it's just like it's unfortunate that it happens. Um, and it's just like thinking like he got to her at a young age and kept her at his side through whatever means for years. Like I spoke to people that read like the manuscripts of the actual like suit that she put together to sue him, and like there's more details in there that just really show like how much of a monster he was. Um, and it just sucks because he has daughters. So like, how do his daughters look at him now? His sons, like, do his kids know like this is what their dad is like? They probably do know, but I don't know. It sucks, man. It sucks. And growing up, like I grew up on Bad Boy, so like not that I idolized him, but he was a big influence on my life growing up. And now I can't even listen to the songs the same anymore. Not,
Yeah.
I don't even know if I want to listen to them anymore.
Yeah.
So
I kind of don't.
yeah, so
Kind
it's
of
kind,
don't.
yeah, it's kind of hard, man. It's unfortunate. Like he ruined the culture for all of us.
Yeah, that was my immediate like that's one of the many sentiments I had, but I think you guys pretty much nailed it. Like I pretty much agree with everything you guys both said. It was definitely distasteful. Um I'm glad that at least these things are coming to light now. Now we don't have to speculate whether he is or he isn't. Now we know all of that is out the window. Now we really have to look at this guy differently.
Yeah.
And like Hasiel mentioned, I'm sure he's not the only one in the industry that might get away with stuff. And I could just imagine how fearful Cassie was of her. Like you said, you mentioned Hasiel. Like it's imagine how difficult of a situation she must have been in, dealing with such a powerful man. This man is a billionaire,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and has a chokehold on the industry. Like we don't know the level of influence he has on him. So hope shout out to Cassie's partner. I'm not sure if that's her husband now, or I'm not sure what their status is, but for him to step up and get her out of that situation, I commend that man for that. And hopefully justice is, I know Hasiel mentioned that it is going to be difficult for this for him to get penalized too much about this because of the statute of limitations, but hopefully justice is served. Now 50 Cent has been trolling Diddy for a long time, and just when I thought this man, I already had him as the king of trolls, but now this man is gonna come out with a docu-series for Diddy. And we're gonna get to see more stuff now that more victims are coming out and speaking. So we're really gonna go down a rabbit hole pretty quickly. And who's gonna be the leader of that? 50 Cent. None other than 50 Cent. He's actually gonna make money off of this, you know,
I
off
mean,
of this man trolling for a while.
he's been saying stuff for years, for
Yeah.
many, many years. So I'm sure he has a FBI-esque binder of stuff to say about Diddy.
Probably just been keeping tabs on him, just waiting for the
Uh,
moment.
it's gonna be vicious.
Yeah.
Gonna be something vicious.
Kind of glad it's 50 doing it too.
Me too. I think everybody's can agree that if we had to vote for one person to do it, it would be 50.
But yeah,
And
just to touch on this a little bit more, go a little bit more in depth. Like Kim Porter, Diddy's former wife, was apparently writing a tell-all story or book, and apparently she just like happened to die. Like it's just a lot of stuff that like starts to like be like, yo, this dude potentially is like a mass murderer, bro.
Yeah.
Starting with like Biggie and all this other stuff.
yeah,
And then Kanye calls him a fed. Now people call Kanye crazy, but Kanye says a lot of truths too.
he does.
He does.
So he's probably onto something. There's something there. Here we go, speculation, but there's definitely stuff there. Diddy has videos, info on people, like that could probably put people in tight situations. But now, if the feds get involved, it probably took some of that leverage away from him. But yeah,
Cat Williams mentioned him too.
yeah,
I blame this 2024 on Cat Williams
yeah.
and all this stuff. He
He
set the
manif- he manifested this shit.
He opened up a can of worms.
Yeah.
the rabbit hole is definitely gonna get
Like I wonder what Faith Evans thinks. Not Faith Evans. What's the other R&B? Oh my god.
Lil Kim.
No, no. Faith Evans is Biggie's ex. Mary J. Blige.
Okay.
Cause she was like big on their Bad Boy. And like a lot of her music was about her relationships and stuff and being like in abusive relationships and stuff. Coming to find out you standing next to one of the big honchos of it. Like I can't even imagine what her perspective is on him now.
Mm. I
Unless she
wonder how
was
many I wonder how many people knew what was going on. And
That too. I was about to say
Yeah.
that. Like, I wonder if J-Lo, like, all that stuff starts to, like, make me wonder.
wow, if you're speculating, chances are other people are speculating too.
For sure.
Guaranteed.
It could get messy.
Yeah. It is already. It gets messier.
It could get messier. Yep.
But yeah, I don't got nothing else to say about Diddy. Just false idols, man. Don't idolize these people,
Yeah.
these elites, these media heads. Like, everybody got dirt on them. Everybody got shit in their closet. Nobody's really being that transparent about their lives. Maybe one person might be Joe Budden, but not even, because a lot of his dirty laundry has been out there. But he kind of got thrown into this too because he had a comment on it, and then it brought up his dirt. So there's just a lot of shit. Like, sometimes it's best to not even say anything because, like, everybody has a past. People get drunk, get handy, and shit might happen. So, like, not that I'm condoning this. Obviously, I don't condone any of this. But if you have anger issues or don't know how to control your hands, seek therapy, do some meditation, stop drinking alcohol. So you can stop being so aggressive or whatever. Stop putting yourself in bad situations, I guess, would be my advice to all.
No, well said. I agree. And yeah, this the whole situation is just distasteful. It's yeah, man. I hope Cassie gets the healing that she deserves, and I hope that you know that justice is served for all the victims because she's not alone. There's more than one. There's a lot of other women that are gonna come out, and I don't want to be insensitive to any of them. Like this dude, I guess it's a hurt person hurting other people, but no remorse for Diddy though. There's no excuses for these actions that are being said about him. It's just this is definitely this ain't it. This ain't it.
Do you think he can be redeemed?
No.
No.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. We're not God, but it's unfortunate. The redemption doesn't seem likely.
No, it's not gonna happen.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
You can't come back from this.
I mean, Jesus came down himself.
We
Uh,
haven't even we haven't even touched base on how deep this shit could get. So yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. On that note, fellas, episode 20 in the books.
Yes.
Been a pleasure.
Been a pleasure, man. Thank you for tuning in and for staying with us and coming along on this ride with us. And till next time. Is that how you say it, Roberto?
Yeah, that's good, man.
Oh, okay.
Appreciate you guys.
Have a good one, everyone.
Yeah.
Bye.